Well, hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Go Live with Confidence show. As always, this show is powered by Restream, and today I'm really excited. I'm joined by Katie Simpson. We're going to be talking about how to be more confident on live video. I'm going to be sharing some easy steps. Now, I can see we've got some live people watching, and I would love to know where in the world you are watching from. And what is kind of stopping you from either going live or being as confident as you would like to be? What is stopping you? Is there something that you would like to do to improve your live streams? So yeah, let me know in the comments. But I think it's time to bring in Katie. Let's bring her in from the green room. Click the button and welcome to the show, Katie. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's awesome and it's great. We've not known each other for that long, really, but it kind of feels like we have known each other for a long time. So I'm really excited to have you on the show. We've got a lot of similarities, me and you, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I know that confidence for you is a big thing. You know, teaching people with confidence, and so that's we're going to be talking about that. So how are things going with you, Katie?
Yeah, great. Thank you. I'm loving this warmer weather. I say sort of touch wood at the moment. I think we're going to have some cold coming, but
yeah, don't say that. Don't say that. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, it is a nice, it was a nice day yesterday, but anyway, let's not talk about the weather. Let's see who we've got in the house. We've got the fabulous, let's see where's the tech when you want it. There we go. So we've got Melissa is here again. Great to see you, Melissa. You were watching my live show again, so you're a glutton for punishment, but it's great to see you. And we've got the amazing Scott Ayres. You need to check out Scott's show on the Restream channel. He does some amazing things. He's on a Monday, I think, is Scott's show. Howdy from Waco in Texas. I'm sure the weather is good there. And Tim is saying something that I totally agree with. Shout out to your hat, Katie Simpson. You are the hat queen, aren't you, Katie?
I do love my hats. I haven't counted how many I've got, but they sort of, my poor husband, they encroach everywhere in the house.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, we've all got a problem. Some people like it's shoes. Like, I think hats is a little bit more exciting than, I can probably collect USB cables. Not deliberately, but I think hats is a bit more exciting than that. And we've got Savvy Turtle watching on YouTube who's saying, love the hat. So there we go. It's obviously the way forward. So in today's show, we're going to be talking about how to be more confident. We're going to be sharing some easy steps. Now, Katie and my background, actually, we're both classically trained singers. So we'll talk a little bit about warming up. Something that Katie was telling me about just before we started about calming the nervous system. That is something that really piqued my interest. I'm interested in that because sometimes we can hype ourselves up too much or get too excited, or sometimes it can be the complete opposite problem. We're too lethargic. And so I'm excited to talk about that. I think it's time to get on with the show, Katie. So I'm going to put you back in the green room. Don't know why I did that accent, but I will do that. I will see you in a bit. And it's time to get on with the show. As always, we repurpose this live show. We also make it, we snip off the beginning bit. We trim off the beginning bit for the replay is the word I'm looking for there. So keep the comments coming and we'll be with you just after this. Hello, my name's Ian Anderson Gray, and in this episode of the Go Live with Confidence show, I'm joined by Katie Simpson. We're going to be talking about how to be more confident on live video. Some easy steps. We're going to be talking about how to calm your nervous system, how to be energized, and lots of other really amazing things. So I can't wait to get on with the show. Let's get on with it.
Want to boost your confidence in front of the camera so you can live stream more effectively and communicate with your audience? Get ready for the Go Live with Confidence show. Increase your confidence, improve your communication, and optimize your mindset so you can go live with confidence. This show is powered by Restream. And here's your host, Ian Anderson Gray.
Well, hello. This is episode 15 of the Go Live with Confidence show. We go live every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. in the UK, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We're talking about confidence today, how you can optimize your mindset. If there's anyone else out there that you think would benefit from this, then please do share it out. Do get involved with the comments. It's great to be here, and I can't wait to bring in Katie in a second. But just to let you know about Restream, which is how this show is powered. We're broadcasting to a plethora of different destinations using the power of Restream, which I think is the multi-streaming suite for entrepreneurs. It allows you to broadcast from a tool like OBS Studio or Ecamm. You can go live to all these different channels. In fact, there are over 30 different channels you can go live to. I think in today's show, I'm going live to about 12 different places, which is cool. Now, the other awesome thing is Restream Studio, and that's what we're using today. Restream Studio works within the browser. You can invite up to 9 guests onto your show. You can highlight comments. You can put the overlay, the chat overlay, which is one thing that I've not done before until today. I thought, why don't we try that out today? So you can highlight comments on the screen. So for example, I put Melissa's comment up there talking about having so many planners myself, and Savvy Turtle watching on YouTube as well. So the great thing is that you can see and highlight the comments from all the different channels that you broadcast to, which is great. And you can schedule the event to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. So if you want to find out more, if you want to take it for a test drive, all you need to do is go to iag.me/Restream. That's iag.me/Restream, and you get a whole month for free, which is really cool. Okay, well, it's time to bring in Katie. Katie Simpson is somebody who I haven't known for that long a time, but it feels like I know her quite well. We've had loads of chats. We've got lots of things in common. She's awesome. She's a pastor's wife who lives in the leafy Chiltern Hills near London. That sounds very, very lovely. And she's a doggy and a guinea pig mummy and a chronic fatigue syndrome fighter. Like myself, she has a background in teaching and voice teaching, but Katie also has a background in beauty, makeup, and wellness. She loves helping girls to look and feel fantastic on live video. So it's time to bring in Katie onto the show. Where's the cheering sound when you want it? There we go.
Hey,
Great.
thank you.
Great
Hi,
to see you,
everyone.
Katie.
Lovely to see you, Ian. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. I actually, this is, we need some sad music actually at this point. Not because you're coming on, but this is actually the last in this series. Because we've got something new. Well, anyway, let's switch that off. We've got something new coming. I'm not going to tell you any more, but we like to change things over time on Restream. So we've got something else coming up. Exciting. But I've really enjoyed talking about confidence. And I had to invite you on because I know confidence is a big, just a big thing for you in terms of like what you teach. And I'd love to know really your background in terms of like how you got into this mad world that you're in, because you did have a singing background, but tell us a little bit more about your history, how you got into what you're doing today.
Yeah, so helping people feel good, and particularly about going live on video is really a big passion of mine, because I've been there myself when we go through really difficult periods, and they can be for a long period of time, can't they? We really want to help other people not struggle with that. And it really makes us feel for people and so want to make things better for others. Yeah, so I have always had a love of performing ever since I was tiny, but I didn't really realize that. I've always wanted to get up in front of the public, but always been absolutely terrified. And from a very young age, I think the first performance that I did was when I was tiny, and we had this production at school, all the parents there. and I was told to read out what was written on the old pound notes. We don't have pound notes in Britain anymore. And I don't know why. I have no idea what this play was about. But anyway, I had to read this out. And it said, I hereby tell the bearer on demand to, so it was something like that. And so I'd rehearsed my little speech. So I stood up to say my bit, and I sat down in the middle of it and carried on the rest of the line, because I was so nervous. And then the whole audience just burst into laughter, and I just felt like shriveling up as a tiny little person. I said to my dad afterwards, "Why did everybody laugh at me?" And he said, "It's because you sat down halfway through." So that was the first bad experience. And then when I was a little bit older, the school put on a production of Alice Through the Looking Glass. And I've got blonde hair and blue eyes, and Alice is such a wonderful, beautiful character. And I wanted to be Alice. And so I auditioned for Alice. There were a few of us girls who had blonde hair and blue eyes, and I wasn't chosen. And they said, "Oh, keep auditioning for the things." So I kept auditioning for each thing until it got to the part of the Jabberwock. And if any of you have ever read Alice Through the Looking Glass, the Jabberwock is this horrible monster. It's covered in scales and it's very scary. And they gave me the part of the Jabberwock. I had this great big sort of paper mache mask over my head, so you couldn't even see me. And they had to chop off my head as part of it. So that was my second big performance.
Oh my goodness. That's horrendous, isn't it? I'd love to know, actually, from people watching, what have your kind of difficult experiences been in the past? Let's kind of share some of them. Anyway, carry on, Katie.
So all of this didn't deter me for some strange reason. Another opportunity I had, because I played musical instruments and things, and I was playing the violin on stage for this children's holiday camp. And they suddenly stuck the microphone in front of my face and said, "Oh, what do you like about coming here?" or something like that. And I just completely and utterly froze. And I know a lot of you will know what that feeling is like. You really will. Shaking all over. I had no idea what to say. Nothing came out of my mouth. And then after a load of stuttering, I just spoke a whole load of gibberish, I think. I don't think it really made any sense. So I've had a few things like that in my life growing up, and that all sounds quite funny, really, and cutesy, but actually there's more to it. And my family background was on my stepfather's side very, very difficult and extremely scary at home, and awful abuse happening. And I wanted to protect my mother, and I wasn't allowed to say anything or get involved. I had to keep quiet for my own safety, and I suppose for my siblings' safety, everyone's safety. And when you're trying to protect somebody, you can't do anything, it's awful, isn't it? You bottle up these things, you don't know what to do. So I ended up banging my head against the floor or the wall, and I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't say anything. My voice was closed off to the world. I couldn't have a voice. I couldn't speak up for somebody that I loved. And all this sounds a bit dramatic, but it is what brought me to wanting to help other people to have their voice and just be able to give to the world without holding back, if any of that makes sense. So yeah, these things are sort of really deep rooted. And I've taught music for a long time in secondary school, which I think, what do you call that in the US? Senior school?
Well, middle school and
Middle school.
and high school, probably.
High
I don't know.
school,
Someone
yeah.
else, somebody from the US, help us here. I don't know if Tim Sorn's still in the house, but yeah.
And I saw some wonderful things happen with children who I just helped, that maybe they weren't interested in music in the slightest, and maybe they became more interested in music, which is wonderful, but that isn't, that it's their confidence that I just saw as I looked after them and encouraged them to just do something like say a poem in front of people or whatever it was. I saw so many wonderful confidence growing experiences with those young people, and I've carried on teaching music and singing since then for over 20 years, and that helping people with the confidence is the thing that I just most love, because it's such a transformation in somebody's in their whole life. It just brings them so much joy. So live video is a way virtually to do exactly that. Just be you and meet other people online and get yourself out there and just speak your voice and be yourself and be unique. And yeah, that's what I just love it.
I love that, Katie. And I think like what came from that is that how easy it is for so many of us to take the technology of live video for granted. And, those difficult times that you've had of kind of, you kept going, and then you realized that live video is this place that I can have a voice and I can help other people. You went through some very difficult times there, and then you were able to like get other people to help them with their confidence through live video, and I love that. We've got some. So Melissa is sharing her story here. Fainting. This is a difficult experience for her. Fainting in the choir, age 10. And one of my friends thought I died. Oh, no. I remember I was a choir boy, and I think I tripped. I was like dressed up in like the whole kind of cassock thing, and I think I was singing at a wedding, and I tripped over my cassock and fell. And the other thing that kind of like reminded me, you kind of digging back all these stories from my past, Katie. Oh no! But like I auditioned for something. It was like this. It was a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta, and I auditioned for a part, and in the end they gave it was called Iolanthe, and there's a sentry in it, and the sentry is outside of the Houses of Parliament. They're supposed to be very tall and strapping and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you've ever met me in real life, you'll know that I'm not exactly tall. I'm 5'4". So they gave me that part because they thought it would be funny, and so like, and I was already quite I had a thing about my height anyway, so that was rubbish for my confidence. But there we go. These things I think shape us, and I've got a similar thing to you. I want to help people with their confidence. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some tips, and Katie's going to be sharing some tips with us. Some amazing tips. I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a sorry about this physics 2pi. I think it is. Is that I got that? 2pi. So if there are any other kind of unrelated, some tech questions, please keep those coming. Happy to answer that. How to choose a good background for green screen. So is that a good green screen? You've got a green screen, but you want to choose a good background for that. There's loads of places you can go to. I mean, first of all, with green screens, make sure that you have good lighting. Lighting's really important, and also you have a decent camera. So make sure you got that. But in terms of good backgrounds, there's some great image sites. There's a free one called pexels.com, pexels.com, and just find some backgrounds there that work for you. What I also would suggest that you do is you maybe open your favorite graphics package and add a little bit of a background blur to it, so that it looks a bit more realistic. So try that out. I hope that helps. And Flipnotes is going LOL. I'm not sure what that was in relation to. Probably my little story there. So keep those comments coming and do share this out. So I think you've answered my next question, which is why live video. I think we've talked about that. Before we get on to confidence features, I know that you're fairly new. Am I right in thinking that you're fairly new to Restream? You've because you won it in a certain giveaway, didn't you?
I certainly did. Yeah.
So I didn't kind of clear this with you before, but I'm putting you on the spot. But like, what would be your favorite feature in Restream?
Well, actually, what you're doing right now, I'm quite loving that with the comments coming down. Everyone can see those, can't they? On the screen.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty cool. But Restream is brilliant for multi-streaming at the same time really easily. I did have a problem ages ago when I started using it. I don't know why. For some reason, I couldn't set up YouTube with it. But anyway, I don't know what I did. I obviously did something wrong because they helped me immediately, and then it was absolutely fine. So it's really easy. I love it. And the way it works with something like Ecamm is just so seamless and you know, stress-free. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, we don't want the stress. We don't want the stress. So yeah, this is the great thing about Restream. You can use the studio, which is what we're using at the moment, but you could also, if you're a PC user, you could use OBS Studio. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about that on my show on Thursday, how you can use Restream and OBS together. Or if you're a Mac user, you could use Ecamm Live with Restream. It's really cool. But yeah, I love the graphics overlay. This is a feature in Studio. So if you go to, where is it? I've lost where it is now. It's in under captions. No, there we go. It is under chat. So there's a chat overlay button that you click and it just pops up on the right hand side. And you can also, if you use another tool, you can actually embed it. So if you use OBS or Ecamm, I'm getting too techie now, but another question just before we get on with that, and I'd just be interested to know what you think about this, Katie. So Alicia's asking, how can I get more viewers? And I think that's a great question. Any thoughts from you, Katie, before I gibber on about my thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm just wondering which thought to pick, because we can talk
so many.
for ages about it.
Yeah.
So highlighting comments on the screen like Ian is doing right now, and his branding all round it, and interviewing somebody as well, that encourages people because they can share to their followers. Multi-streaming so that you're going live in loads of places at once really helps. Yeah.
That's great. No, that's all cool stuff. I would totally agree with that. The other thing I would say to that is, like, it's not just your live viewers. You know, there's going to be so many people that will probably watch the replay. But so make sure that you do that planning right at the start. Don't just go live and expect everyone to come. That's not gonna work. I mean, you might get some, but you need to let people know. So one of the great features in Restream is the scheduling feature. Just go to events, and then you can schedule it to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Those are the three platforms that allow that. And then use social. Send the link out to your social media followers. If you have an email list, send it out there. But let people know. They're kind of the more times there's you don't want to let people. You don't want to probably send it out like hundreds of times a day or anything. But you need to let people know that you're going to go live. There's probably loads more stuff that we could talk about. And Alicia is also saying here, I've been using the Streamlabs mobile app along with Restream, and it works great. Awesome. I haven't played around with that. I've been playing around with some of the Streamlabs elements kind of overlays and all this kind of cool stuff. But yeah, just play around with the stuff. So, what's going on here? Hold on. My iPad notes are just kind of going wrong there. I just had to click something. So, how do we become more relaxed when we click that go live button? I think some people will have opposite problems here. I don't know if you felt this, Katie, but people press the go live button and they're going completely, their brain is screaming at them, whoa, you're going to die, or the opposite is like you're so lethargic and so chilled out that you press the go live button and then you forget what you're going to say because it's like all over the place. So maybe you could be too relaxed. I don't know, but how can we be and feel more relaxed in the best way that we can be for live video? Because presumably we don't want to be too chilled out. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah. So if you're somebody who, that struggles with live video or struggles with speaking in public or performing in public and tends to be somebody who is maybe a bit anxious often, you can sort of panic often, you're that sort of person. It's the parasympathetic nervous system, that the fight and flight response can in some of us be triggered really easily. So if you're somebody like that, you may get really quite overwhelmed by that sort of thing, doing a live video. And so knowing some things that can help you just calm that down so that you can think clearly. It doesn't necessarily mean that you come across as like, if you're that sort of person, you probably won't come across as being really lethargic. We can talk about those sort of people in a minute. But if you're somebody who tends to be a bit anxious, and certainly when you're sort of public speaking or performing in public, there's some things that you can do just to relax that nervous system. And there's some things that you can do to prepare yourself and to warm up in a way that is actually relaxes you. So it will help you to come across your best on live video. Yeah, have clarity in your mind, be able to think straight without that panic, deer in the headlights sort of thing. So shall I just go through one or two?
I would love that. And just before you do, see, I'm glad you're saying this, because I've heard from a few people in the last few months who have maybe questioned the point of bothering with warming up and bothering with this kind of thing. Just surely you just press the button and you just do it. So I think what you've said there is really important. And tell us a little bit more about why you think this is important, and then go through those different things that you got for us. That'd be great.
Yeah. So as Ian said earlier, both of us have a background in voice, and a lot of us don't really think this is just one aspect. That I'm just focusing on voice for a moment. This is just a sort of example of why one part of a warm-up can really help. We don't often think about, when we're going live, about our voice and how that's coming across and how engaging that's going to be for the audience, etc., etc. We tend to think about, the technology and everything. And you've got to get that right. Ian has a great checklist of, the things that you need to prepare for. You must be prepared. He keeps telling you that on his lives if you watch them. It's really important, but that isn't the whole thing at all. So we often neglect our voice and don't even think about it. We've got other things to think about, but that's an example of something that we really ought to think about, the way that we communicate. And if we don't warm up our voice, if we don't warm up our body, and our posture is involved in that, our breathing is involved in that, our facial expressions, and all of the ways that we come across to people, it's not going to be as good as it can be. It's not going to be you at your best. If you're going to do some sort of physical activity, you prepare your body, don't you? And live video is actually a physical activity. Ian stands up for his lives because he feels that gives him more energy and more focus and whatever. He's more comfortable doing that. And I think that's really good, but you can sit down. I tend to sit down because I don't have enough energy to stand up. But I think if you do sit down, and this is partly why Ian does stand up, you've got to make sure that you are performing at your best, that you are not just relaxing in the chair and everything gets a bit monotone and dull and boring. So yeah, we need to come across as our best, and warming up exercises, a little routine, and just needs to take you 5 minutes, can really help you come across as your best. But also it has that added benefit of helping you be in the best place possible for your nervous system. And if you're not somebody who's wired and fired, I think some people say, you're not a sort of heightened person, it also helps your focus as well. It will help you to just focus on that camera and getting your message through to your ideal audience. So lots of us don't bother at all, but it will make you give a better live video. It will, some people use the term ground you. It will ground you. It will help you come across much better.
Love that. I think that's so important, and I think all of us are different. I will admit, when I do a live show like this, I love it. I get energy from it. We're having a great conversation here. I love the community, the questions that are coming through, but I'm usually pretty exhausted at the end of it. And I don't know whether it's me because I'm an introvert or whatever, I don't know. But I always find that if I do that preparation beforehand and I have that grounding, it just makes such a difference, I think. I'd love to know from you watching live or the replay, are you a stander or a sitter? Put stand or sit in the comments. There's no right or wrong here. As Katie says, she prefers to sit. I prefer to stand. There are pros and cons with both, but let us know in the comments. And I can see Melissa is talking about the William Tell overture. This is my little, this is my little warm-up one. We can maybe sing that later. Although we can't sing together, unfortunately, because of the latency. But anyway, never mind. So let us know. Are you a stander or a sitter? So that's great. So what kind of things should we be doing practically? We've talked, a lot of us talk about a tech checklist, and I think they are so important for, if you know that you've done everything from a tech point of view, that can help you be relaxed, definitely. If you know the microphone is definitely working, that's going to mean you're going to be a lot less stressed. But what you're talking about are maybe kind of more warmy-uppy things or things that you can do in your head, mindset things. I'd love to know from you. Let me know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, so within that checklist, as Ian sort of mentioned, you need to think about, is the dog somewhere else? Is the doorbell going to ring? Blah blah blah. All these sorts of things. And you will feel much more prepared and with it if you're sorted in that way. So one exercise that personally I have felt is quite revolutionary. Is the most simple thing in the world, and this is for people who tend to be wired and fired. They tend to panic and things. So that is called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's maybe you've got a disorder of it, or maybe you just go into the anxiety mode when you've got to perform or do a live video. And this is something that just really helps. And it is a breathing exercise. So we know that breathing exercises really help with that. And all it is did I just mention that it's to do with the vagus nerve? Did I mention that?
I don't think you did, no.
Yeah, so the vagus nerve, I'm absolutely useless at science, but it's the main nerve to do with the parasympathetic nervous system. And it's an enormous nerve that goes right down to your digestive system. So, if you tend to get knotted up stomach at the same time when you're nervous, that's all to do with so if we can just calm the vagus nerve, that really helps. So this really simple exercise is you just imagine that you're smiling out through your eyes, because the vagus nerve comes from around here and goes right down your body. So if you just relax around your eyes and just smile through your eyes, you can take a breath in through your nose. And then when you breathe out slowly, you just let a happy sigh, a really relaxed sigh out, while you're smiling out through your eyes audibly. So we're going to do this together. So breathe in through your nose, smile through your eyes. And you just do that a few times. And even just doing it once, I don't know whether you feel this, Ian, but
Yes.
there's something in me when I do that. I instantly relax masses. It's amazing. It takes
Isn't it
about
funny?
3 seconds. Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can feel, this is where maybe feeling like an idiot syndrome comes into this. We can feel a bit, oh, what on earth is this about? This feels a bit silly. But the thing is, it really does work. This is, we're probably, we've had years of singing background, doing ridiculous, silly things that our singing teachers have done. But so if you feel this is like a silly thing, this really does work. It's all about kind of channeling the right, I don't know, it's getting the nervous system working well, would you say? Because we can't control our nervous system in the same way we can move our arms. So it's about getting our body to do what we want it to do. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. And if you look on YouTube and type in vagus nerve exercises, you'll see a whole load of sort of physical exercises, just slow things like with those big squidgy balls, like rolling slowly on one, the things that you think, it's not going to help my nervous system, but it does. And there's loads of people who teach this as a living. And yeah. So if you're somebody who tends to be really anxious on live video, I'd really recommend that you just have a look into that sort of thing. It can really help. So shall we go into general warm-ups?
That would be great. And I'm just saying, but we've not had many people telling us whether they sit or stand. So I don't know. But anyway, Melissa's saying she sits. So at the moment, I'm definitely the odd one out here. Any other? Come on, there must be some. Who else here is in a team stand? There must be more than Katie and Melissa. Yeah, let us know. So I'd love to know your kind of your warm-up techniques, what you do, and how they help. So let us know.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that I tend to do with people is just very similar to what I did then. So breathing slowly and just calming yourself and just getting the oxygen going through your body as well, because as Ian teaches, you do actually need to be quite alive and awakened for your live videos. So if we can get the oxygen going, then we are going to be waking up and be our best. So first of all, I like to do a bit of stretching and a bit of yawning. It's actually,
it feels good.
It's actually really good for you to audibly yawn in the morning when you wake up. Your partner might be a bit annoyed about that, but who cares? It gets the
I'm having to do that again. It's good.
body going. So yeah, just some stretches out, just get this body going, and then do some lovely slow shoulder rolls, not squashing your shoulders up near your ears and scrunching them up, but stretching them out like you're drawing circles on the walls, if you can see. So you're drawing big circles with sort of pencils sticking out of your shoulder, if that makes sense, on the walls opposite you. So circles up, and then hunching up to your ears, but not squashing in, and breathing in through your nose. And then we're going to let out a sigh of relief. Okay, ready? So hunch up. And again. So not only is this, Melissa yawned, not only is this getting you relaxed, but it's getting you warmed up and energized as well. So those are some really good starters, and we've also got our breath going as well. So I like to get people to put their thumb on their belly button and then put their hand flat on their abdominal muscles underneath. Okay, so you're just holding your hand flat on the lower part of your belly. And then I want you to, I'll come away from the microphone so it's not too loud for you. I'd like you to shush out and feel like your belly is going in. Yeah, so get rid of that air. Ready? Shh, and flop that belly. And now we're going to do it on a F. Ready? And flop that belly. And now on an S, a long S, and flop. Okay, we can do different rhythms of that, but that's enough for now. Now let's get our voice going as well. So we're going to do some voiced sounds. So zzz, and then zh, and then woo. All right. So hand flat on the belly and zzz, release. Zzz, release. Woo! And let's have some fun with that. So we're going to sound a bit like a motorbike or something on like this. Okay, ready? And on woo. Makes your lips tingle a bit, doesn't it? So do a bit of chewing as well. Right up to your nose, down to your chin, and round and round and round.
This is great. And the thing is, you are thoroughly enjoying it. The look in your face when you're doing this. See, the important thing is that you look like you are enjoying this and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, so it wakes me up. Right, we're going to have more fun now. Just some little exclamations. So I'm going to bring the microphone quite far away from me because we're going to have some fun. Right, we are going to what should we start with? We're going to start with woohoo, and we're going to throw our voice and just go for it and have tons of fun. We've got to play, you know, in life. We've got to be a bit of a kid, haven't we, and not care. Let's all be kids. Right, so I'll push this away from it and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're all going to go woohoo together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! Woohoo! 2 more. So we're going to go yippee this time. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yippee! Yippee! And now the last one, we're going to be like a cowboy. My earphones are falling out of my ear. So we're going to pretend we're lassoing a horse. So you can't see my arm. I'm doing this. I'm being like a cowboy. So we're going to go, yeehaw! Okay, ready? Just have tons of fun and see how you feel afterwards, after 3. Get that lasso going. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! Oh, and so you should feel like you've got some happy endorphins going. You should feel a bit tingly and happy in your body. Your eyes should be sparkling a bit. You should feel energized and got that oxygen going through your body. But also you should be relaxed in a good way. So yeah, I hope
that's awesome. That is awesome stuff. So if you've just joined us, this is the Go Live with Confidence show, and we are on the Restream channels. You might have just come in when we were doing all of those kind of like fun exercises. You are in the right place. We're talking about how you can become more confident on your live shows, and there is a real importance in doing some of these exercises to just get your body, get your mind in the right place. And just to have a bit of fun. There's nothing like worse than starting a live stream and you're really nervous or you're very serious. You know, have a bit of fun, as Katie was saying. I love what you said. You know, just like be a big kid. You know, I think that's really, really important stuff. So let us know what your favorite exercise there was. Was it the yeehaw one, or was it, you know, I don't know. But I'm going to have to add some of those to my repertoire. I love that. Yeah, one of the things that I do a lot, I like to do the William Tell overture which is the one, but we did it to the words, Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball. So it's like, Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball, Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball, Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball, like a ping pong ball. And you don't need to be able to sing. It's just about putting a bit of energy, having a bit of fun, getting the energy going through that. So that's one that I like to do. But now that we've warmed up our voices, we've warmed up our bodies, and I love those stretching exercises that you were giving as well. One of the things you were talking to me about was like other things that you need to do in terms of like your mind, like the stuff that you're going to talk about and all that kind of stuff. Now I know you've got a singing background. You had to like learn the music and learn the words and all that kind of stuff. What would you say that we need to have in our minds before we press that go live button? We've done all of that warming up. We've sorted out all the tech. We've calmed our nervous systems. But what should be going through our minds as we press that go live button? We're ready to talk in front of our audience and deliver some real value. Anything that we should be thinking about?
Yeah. So a key thing is try not to think about yourself at all. I think try and think about those that are your ideal clients, those that you love to help, and you so want to help them with whatever you're training on. So try not to be overwhelmed and think, oh, I want to teach this and this and this. Just have 3 simple points. You can have some sub points in there as well if you want, but just keep it really quite simple, especially if you're just starting out doing this, and focus on them. So some things that can help you focus on them. You could, if you're worried about who's going to be watching me and maybe this person, that person, why not ask a lovely family member that you get on well with or your best friend to come on the live with you? Don't forget about your replay audience, by the way, and talk to them. Even if they're not there, what you can do is you can get a post-it note, and I draw a little cartoon face, which actually makes me smile because it's generally pretty rubbish. And I stick that right near the camera and think about whoever. So you could just draw a little cartoon face and put their name underneath, and it should make you smile and think about that person and focus on how you want to help them with your simple training that you're going to give. So I think the main thing is your passion for what you're doing, why you're doing it, and talking to one person, your best friend, somebody really close to you. Maybe there's somebody, maybe they are actually a client of yours or an ideal client to be, and you can help them with what this is, and you just look into that weird camera, because it can be an odd thing just to look into this sort of cyclops, this one-eyed black circle. Like this really odd sort of monster. The other thing that really puts people off is that you can see yourself underneath, especially if you're on a mobile, and some people actually put a post-it note over their face if that really puts them off, so that you just forget about you and what you are worried about you look like, the things that you think are your flaws when actually they probably aren't. We're very hard on ourselves. So if you just can't focus because you keep looking at yourself and thinking, oh, just put something over yourself. And I'd encourage you to not do that every single time. Just try and embrace your flaws. Ian says that quite often. Focus on that person, that one person that you're just longing to help. I think that can make a massive difference.
Love that. Really, really important stuff. Yeah, keep focusing on that. Now, the other question that I wanted to ask you is like how we present ourselves. And in particular, like our clothes. So like you've got this amazing hat on. I don't think I would suit the same hat as yours. But I don't really think about that. But like how, in terms of like how we present ourselves, whether that's, I mean, we could talk about body language, there's that. But in terms of like the clothes that we wear, and I know this is a big thing for you, I will admit, I don't know, I don't think about it as much as I should do, but I think it's important too. So tell us your thoughts on that, what we actually wear, how that affects how we feel about ourselves, but how that comes across as well to our audience.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I want to train in color analysis because it also can really transform somebody's confidence. So if you look good and people are saying, oh, that really suits you, it really helps. So colors can really make us look more youthful, maybe than we are, maybe, whatever. And other colors can make us look a lot older. And then if we look a bit ashen in our face, we feel a bit pulled down, we feel tired. So where I think it's important to find out what suits you. There's a big element of what you like to wear as well. And there's also an element of come across as the CEO that you want to be. I think there's a lady called Brigetti who's become a lovely friend of mine. She teaches that, which I think is fantastic. So all these things play into each other. What are you doing on your video? Is it a high ticket sales live video? Is it just a Q&A or a fun video? So think about your branding colors. What speaks you? What are the things that you like to wear? What do you feel good in? What makes you come across as you? And what colors suit you? So, all these things I think are really worth thinking about. And also somebody mentioned backdrops. So that's a little thought as well. So make sure that your backdrop style and colors sort of go with your whole ethos and theme, but they don't overpower you, and you don't blend in too much with your background, because then you will become a bit invisible. So we want you to be really visible. We want you to pop out of the screen in the best possible way. So just saying that, there are a few colors that really pop on live video. So jewel tones like this lovely bright yellow, a cobalt blue. If you think of jewels, lovely bright colors, not neon, and it doesn't have to overpower you, but the colors that just pop and they have that lovely clarity to them really work well on live videos. Colors that are more muted don't pop out of the screen so much. So maybe that would actually suit your live video a bit better if you're doing a very calming one. Maybe you're teaching somebody some sort of calming techniques or something like that, and you don't want to come across popping out of the screen so much. You want to come across as more calming, so you decide your colors in that way. But try not to wear muddy colors, and have a think about your style as well. What suits you? What would really make you come across in the way that you want to be perceived? I think a lot of people don't really think about that very much. I tend to, it depends what type of video I'm doing, but if I'm doing one that's a bit more showy offy video, I tend to wear some sort of 80s shoulder pads because I've got very sloping shoulders. So, I would tend to go a bit more invisible because my shoulders they're not even, are they? Tend to slope down. And so this just gives me a bit more structure, a bit more stature. Means you can see me a bit better, gives my body a little bit of structure to it. So
really interesting.
Yeah, we should think about all these things. They're not like vitally important. The message that we give out and the value that we give out is the most important thing, isn't it? But all these things do speak to people, and especially as people make they have a thought about us in the very first few seconds, don't they? So the whole thing comes across and speaks to their brain in some way. So
Oh, well, you've given us so many things to think about there, Katie. And so what we wear, the colours and the background, and how we prepare ourselves, so many different things there. So thank you, Katie, so much for coming on the show and sharing all that with us. I know it's been really valuable. And I know that you've got a few things that you wanted to that can help people more and further with it. You've got a 5-day free challenge. So tell us a little bit more about that and when that's going to be happening.
Yeah, so it starts on the 10th of May, and it's in a Facebook group that I have that we've got a link for you. And it's from fearful to fantastic on live video. So lots and lots and lots of people have this anxiety. Maybe they feel absolutely terrified. Maybe they don't feel terrified, but they're just overwhelmed by the whole thing. And we know that live video is just really the way to go with marketing, at least. It really is fantastic. And everyone, I think, should go on live video if they can. So it's just to help people wherever they are, just get over that overwhelm or anxiety, issues, whatever it is, and to just start going live. So yeah, it starts on 10th of May.
That sounds awesome. And you've also got the Live Video Success Hub. I, for some reason, wrote HIB before. So, and the link is there, Live Success Hub. So you can check that out. I'm going to also put that in the comments. There we go. I'm going to put that in. So do check that out, and let us know if you have got any more questions. If you want to follow Katie, then you can do that. All the links are there. I can see, I think we had a chat comment from, go on, where's it gone? So Melissa's saying, reminds me of working in an office compared to home working. So there's definitely a difference there. And yeah, we are both from the UK, but we broadcast all around the world, which is awesome. Well, thank you, Katie. It's been great to have you on. Thank you so much for all your help. I will let you go. I've got to go and take my daughter to her swimming lesson. It's all good. But thank you, Katie. I'm going to put you back in the green room, but thank you so much, Katie. It's been great to have you on the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, that is the end of the show. In fact, this is the end of the series on Go Live with Confidence. We've got some more cool things happening. Do check out the other Restream shows. There's a show that happened every single week. Do check out Restream. It's the tool that allows you to broadcast to over 30 different destinations. Or you could use Restream Studio. If you want to find out more about that, you just go to iag.me/Restream. And I've also got a gear guide just to let you know. I'm just bombarding you with loads of things. iag.me/gear guide. Those are all the tools, all the gear that I use, the microphones. I know we've been talking about confidence today, but we all love our gear as well. So if you go to iag.me/gear guide, you'll find out more about that. Well, that is the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. And I just want to leave you with this to encourage you to increase your confidence, improve your communication, and optimize your mindset so that you can go live with confidence. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Go Live with Confidence show with Ian Anderson Gray, helping you get over the fear, improve your communication, and optimize your mindset so that you can go live with confidence. Check out Restream and take it for a test drive at iag.me/Restream. And until next time, toodaloo.